Hey, Dad, how's it going? All right, Gaz, how's it going? You can turn on your microphone by hitting the mic icon on the bottom left of
My
the screen.
mic is on now, isn't it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. It's funny, your invitation got to my iPhone, but it didn't get to my PC. I'm gonna have to check with them tomorrow and find out.
Okay, I emailed you.
I know, I got the email on my iPhone, but I didn't get it on my PC.
All right, I'll be right back.
I mailed the message to myself. Don't you worry about it, but it's really a strange thing.
How's everybody doing? You
Good,
guys know how
John.
to
How are
connect
you?
your microphones at the bottom left? How you doing, Joe?
I'm okay, just doing what I can.
Hey, Jeff. All right, I'm John Greenfield. I'm hosting this. Welcome, everybody. We tend to get started around 8:15. We're just going to hang out till then, until everybody shows up. So everybody get outside today and enjoy the sunshine a little?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, I sat in the backyard with some friends and then I biked around the golf course.
Oh, great. All right, we got a few more people. Here's Dave, my brother, Miriam Goldberg, and Tanya Mashinsky. All right, Mark Pay from the Red Line Wrestlers. He's probably going to play a song.
Hey, John.
Hey there.
It's Dave.
Hi, Dave. How's it going? You need some light. All right.
Hey, John.
So anybody who's not familiar with how this works, you turn on the microphone at the bottom left-hand corner. And if you want to see everybody at once, go to the gallery view, which is the grid at the upper right-hand corner. Try to adjust your screen so we can see you. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey, not too bad.
All right, so if you're not familiar with Zoom, a general tip is if you're not talking, mute yourself. Why don't we start introducing people here? So I'm John Greenfield, I'm hosting. And we got Joe Goldberg, who is going to be performing with me. Joe and I play in a band called the Cloud Corporation, a rock band. We got Jeff Zoline, who is a friend of mine from the transportation advocacy scene. The photographer, does stuff for my transportation news website, Streets Blog. My brother Dave is here. Mark Pay, who plays with me in the country band, the Red Line Wrestlers. My old music colleague, Tanya Mashinsky. My dad, Roy Greenfield in Pennsylvania. Dave's in Washington, D.C., which is where Joe Goldberg is from. And I don't think I know Miriam or Ms. Rosenkrantz.
Hi, I'm Joe's mom.
Oh, nice to meet you.
You too?
Joe's cousin. I'm Allie Goldberg. I'm using my fiance's Zoom because I don't know how to work it on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and this is Kaya. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, Hi, Kyle.
Hey there.
Hi, Allie.
Cutie.
Hi, Aunt Misty. Hi, Ruthie. Hi, Don. Hi, Joe.
Yeah, hi, Ruth and Don.
Hi, Ally.
Hi, Joe. Joe, your face is half. Oh, no, that's.
Yeah, Joe Goldberg, you need to adjust your screen so we can see your face.
Possibly the problem is that Sal is the one connecting. That's what it looks like.
So anybody do anything fun for Memorial Day weekend today?
No.
Big news in Chicago is Streets Blog has been advocating for closing roads, particularly in parks, to give people room to walk, jog, and bike ride with social distance. And so far, we haven't had much progress, but today there's a big park in the Humboldt Park neighborhood where they didn't actually open up the streets for walking, biking, and jogging, but they banned parking and they put down the gates on the park roads because they were afraid of too many people showing up and congregating. And then Streets Blog, we told everybody in advance that was happening and let them know the cops said it was okay to walk, bike, jog on the path. So lots of people showed up, lots of families with young kids. Got a lot of cute photos from that. And so that was sort of a fun thing. There was plenty of room for social distancing. There were like little kids with scooters and learning to ride bikes. There was a funny drawing. There was a funny photo of a little girl driving an electric SUV. So the road wasn't truly car free, but looked like
It
she was
didn't
having
look
fun.
like there were a lot of people out there, though.
What's up?
It didn't look like a lot of people came out.
Among all the photos I saw, there were plenty of people.
Okay.
All right, I expect we're going to get a few more people, so we'll wait until 9:15 to get started. Ruth Greenspan, I don't think I've met you yet. I'm John Greenfield. I'm Joe's bandmate in the Cloud Corporation.
Hi, I'm Joe's aunt,
Nice to meet you.
and nice to meet you.
No
And,
relation to Alan.
My husband, Don, is just entering the picture.
Hi.
Hi, Don. I'm John Greenfield. I'm Joe's bandmate from the Cloud Corporation.
Hi, John.
Where is everybody from?
Well, Don and I live in Arizona, but we're from Maryland originally. We grew up right near where Joe grew up.
Yeah, and Ruth is my sister. So I grew up the same place. Yeah, Silver Spring, Maryland, and I live in Chevy Chase, Maryland now.
Okay.
Sam and I are in Colorado. I grew up in Maryland near Joe and Aunt Missy.
Is David Greenfield voice related to Nell
You're supposed to say
Greenfield
where you're
voice?
from.
Yeah, Nell is Dave's wife. She's the NPR science reporter.
Wow, that's so cool.
Sam is a physics
You
teacher.
live in Colorado.
We live in Colorado. He's from Virginia.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of DC people here. My dad's in State College, Pennsylvania, in the middle of Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up, where Penn State is. Both my brothers live in DC. Dave's in Mount Pleasant, and Lee is in the Chevy Chase neighborhood of DC. All right, we got Kumar McMillan joining. So another news item in Chicago recently was there's this place in the lake just east of downtown where people like to take yachts and party. They like tie all their yachts together. I think it's called rafting or something. And then, they just have these hedonistic parties. That's called the Playpen. And so the mayor of Chicago, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, declared that the Playpen was not going to be open this summer because of pandemic safety reasons. And so I posted about that on Facebook, sort of making fun of the people who won't be able to party on their yachts. And I was surprised that Joe was not familiar with this thing because Joe works for the richest man in Illinois, a hedge fund guy named Ken Griffin. And but Joe said he does not get to ride on yachts. So that was disappointing. I mean, what's the point of working for the richest man in Illinois if you don't get to ride on yachts?
Yeah, really.
So let's see, we got a few other musicians here besides Joe and I. I expect my brother Dave and Mark will play some songs. Maybe some other people have hidden talents. Poetry readings are okay too, or if you want to read something else, or just make a speech, that's fine. If you're new here and not familiar with the platform, the way to get your sound going is there's a microphone in the bottom left-hand corner. If you want to see everybody at once, you go to the upper right-hand corner and there's a grid that's a gallery view. If you'd rather just have the person who's talking be a large image, then go to speaker view or stay with that. Okay, we got Solomon. Is this your son, Solly? I wonder if this is Joe's son. If so, I will try to keep my performance clean. If you're new here, consider switching on your video by hitting the start video, the camera at the bottom left so we can see you. And, but on the other hand, mute your microphone when you're not talking or performing. So what's the news in DC nowadays? Is
News in DC.
Trump done anything particularly outrageous we might not have heard about?
We don't really get any special news here about that. No, there's talk of loosening. This is all very boring. There's talk of loosening things up, but nothing has been practically proposed. Oh, there's not going to be any. Well, they're now talking about having school. Every kid will go to school 2 days a week in the fall. I've got 2 kids. I got one going into 2nd and one going into 5th. And so everybody's trying to understand how they're going to like potentially go back to work and have their kids in school 2 days a week and all that. So that's kind of a mess.
Yeah, that sounds tricky.
I don't know what people are going to do anywhere. Does anybody else know of other school districts and what they're planning?
I haven't heard anything about Chicago area schools reopening anytime soon.
For what it's worth, I'm a teacher in Colorado, and for next year, what we know is they want kids going back part-time, but being aware that we might need to close at any point and go fully virtual again.
If there's another outbreak.
Yeah, I'm a teacher in Chicago, and we haven't really heard any news about anything. There's a rumor that we might essentially skip the first or do the first semester online, like how we're doing it now, and then when it all blows over, go back in, in January or something. Seems really like it's going to be difficult for parents, though. I don't know how they would do it. I guess some parents are going to be working from home probably also, but it's not everybody.
Even at the college and university level, it's still up in the air about whether fall semester is on. Hopefully I'll find out more in June.
Penn State is supposed to announce whether they're going to have real classes June 10th. I don't know how they can predict what's going to be going on in September myself.
So wait, is anybody here calling in from places other than, let's see, Chicago, DC, and I know State College, where my dad's from? Anybody from any place far away?
Colorado's not that far. I don't know.
Arizona, we're in Phoenix.
Excuse me for just a second, folks. I'm putting my phone number up so people can text if they're having problems. We'll get started in a minute.
Oh, I just unmuted myself. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Don. Hey, Allie. Hey, everybody. I just realized I was muted.
Hey,
Hi,
Joe.
Joe.
Hey, hello. I just realized I was muted. I've been saying hi to all of you all, and you couldn't hear me at all the whole time.
Hi, Joe. Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hi, everyone.
Why are you Solomon?
Hello.
Is it his
Hey.
computer?
It's he does e-learning, so he the Zoom gets his ID on it. I don't do e-learning. I don't learn anything. My brain's already full. I don't need to learn anything. Hey, Ray.
Joe said hi.
Hi, sorry. Hi, Joe.
Hey.
Hey,
Really good
Lisa,
to see you, Ray.
We're trying to do some adjustments here, which is why we seem distracted.
Sorry, I had some technical difficulties myself. I was like 10 minutes late because I was trying to use an iPad that didn't work.
yeah, Joe, you've still got a frame going. You've got 2 frames going. Not a big deal, but just kind of.
Wait, what? Am I on twice?
Yeah, I can shut down your dummy account. I'll do that.
Yeah, shut down my dummy account because that one doesn't work. Am I like on that one though? Like, do you see me on that one?
No, we saw you for a while attempting to connect by that. And then
No, that
then
one,
you
yeah.
finally
Okay.
appeared in your other screen.
All right.
And that one
So-
went dark.
Oh, okay.
Is Kumar McMillan a friend of yours, Joe?
He is, and I saw that he left. I think he left because he was mad that I couldn't get on.
Oh, well, yeah, he was here for a minute. Hopefully he'll come
Yeah.
back. Maybe you should text him or something and let him tell
I'll
him to come
text
back
him.
in.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa Phillips, why don't you turn on your audio and video? There's audio is the microphone at the bottom left corner.
Yeah, thanks. I know. I'm familiar. I just wasn't planning to be on screen.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay? I thought this was going to be more of a show than a meeting.
Yeah, we'll get going in a minute.
Okay.
All right, well, why don't we get started now? If you can read my hat, it says, "Let's go crazy." So I'm planning on erring on the side of goofy songs tonight instead of my more introspective material, as introspective as I get. So, all right, this one's called Portland. Now, I've been to most of the 50 states, and it's fair to say America's great. Maybe you think I'm a fortunate son, but I won't feel too fortunate till I make it to Portland, Oregon. Now I live here in the Midwest, and Portland is in the Pacific Northwest. That's right. It's a place where the salmon fishing's the best. That's why I want to go to Portland, Portland, USA. Yeah, Portland. I want to leave today, if that's okay. I don't want more than my share, I just want my fair portion. Just want to live and work in a town called Portland, Oregon. Now one day I was walking the streets of Portland, Oregon, and I saw an old friend of mine who gave me a suggestion. She said, "You really ought to rock and roll." She said, "You really ought to rock and roll. I wish that you would rock and roll. So come on, baby, rock and roll. In Portland, Portland, USA. Yeah, Portland. I want to leave today. It's okay. Now that's okay. I don't want more than my share, I just want my fair portion. I want to live and work in a town called Portland. Just want to play my guitar without no distortion. I want to play my music in a town called Portland. Don't get me wrong, I'm feeling pretty good, I'm feeling all right. I'm rocking in Chicago on a Saturday night, but I want to be your partner, want to be your good friend. But I also want to be your lover, want to be your boyfriend. I want to be with you in a town called Portland. Together we could rock and roll in a town called Portland, Oregon. She said, you really ought to rock and roll. She said, you really ought to rock and roll. Now I deserve the right to rock and roll, so I'll reserve the right to rock and roll in Portland. All right, thank you. Got a couple people waiting to get back in, Joe and Kumar. So it'll be a second until Joe is able to play, I suppose. All right, well, it's great to have another concert. I appreciate everybody showing up. Joe is connecting to audio now. So yeah, maybe I'll do another quick one while Joe gets his act together. All right, this is one about the history of Chicago. It's about the first non-native settler of the Chicago region, a Black French-speaking guy named Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable. There's some controversy about whether he was from Haiti. I recently heard that he might have actually been born in Southern Illinois, which was controlled by the French back then. So this is called The Ballad of Jean-Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable. In the 1760s, a Black Frenchman came up from New Orleans. His name was Jean-Baptiste du Sable. He had the ways and means. He came from New Orleans. He had the ways and means. So raise your glass to Jean du Sable, the founder of Chicago. He lived with the Illinois Indians and then the Potawatomi. He married Kitty Hawa and joined the family. He met the Potawatomi. He joined the family. So raise your glass to Jean du Sable, the founder of Chicago. In 1779, Du Sable and his wife moved up to the shores of Lake Michigan to start a brand new life. Du Sable and his wife began a brand new life. So raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago. Hey! They built a house, a barn, 2 stables, a workshop, a smokehouse, and mill. They started up a trading post with lots of nice things to sell. They built a house and a mill. They had lots of nice things to sell. So raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago. French and English and Indian traders all came to Du Sable's post. Du Sable's settlement was the start of the city of Chicago. Du Sable's trading post became Chicago. So raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago. Raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago. Raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago. So raise your glass to Jean Du Sable, the founder of Chicago.
All right.
Thank you.
Yay.
All right, Joe, are you ready to rock? As best as one can with an acoustic guitar and voice.
Sure, sure.
Joe, are you ready to play a song for us?
Yeah, I'll play a song.
All right.
The people will survive in their environment. Turn the scarcity and emptiness of our sound. The injustice of our greed. The practice we inherit. The dirt, the scarcity, and emptiness of our sound. There ought to be. I can see it in her eyes. I only had a Corona, 5 cents deposit.
All right.
One more.
Does anybody know who that song was by?
The Minutemen.
And it was, so let's, do you want to tell them about it?
So that song was about being down in Mexico and having like rich white guilt because someone tried to pick up a Corona bottle for a 5 cent deposit, and realizing that that was a big deal to someone in Mexico, and kind of ignorant, at the time.
And that song is also famous because it was the theme song for the show Jackass.
And okay, so now's the time to confess that my lady, Jacinda, who is trying to put the kids to bed right now, is going to see the recording of this later. She really wanted, the man she really wanted to marry was Steve-O. That was really the man of her dreams.
A guy from Jackass.
I was her second choice. She only married couldn't marry Steve-O.
You guys have a lot in common.
Me and Steve-O, yeah. Yeah, like I'm a great skateboarder, and well, you know me. I'm a huge daredevil.
If you're a masochist, then you fit the bill.
Yeah, like he used to like staple, his, I don't know. Yeah, right. Clearly I didn't staple it.
I mean, wasn't there a thing on Jackass, like, it was different masochistic stunts, like a person submitting to as many paper cuts as possible, things like that. I know, pretty cringe-inducing. All right, well, I played 2, Joe, so why don't you play another one?
If today were not an endless highway, if tonight were not a crooked trend, if tomorrow wasn't such a long time, then lonesome would mean nothing to you at all. But only if my own true love was me, then if I could feel her heart soften down. Oh, if she were right by, would I lie in my bed? I can see my reflection in the water. I can't speak the sound that's shown of me. I can't hear the echo of my footsteps
I can't remember the sound of my own, but only if my own true love was me. Yes, if I could feel her heart soften, she would I would lie in my There's beauty in the silver springing river. There's beauty in the sunlight in the sky. But none of these, nothing else can steal you. That I remember in my true love. Oh, but only in my own true love. As if I could feel her heart soften. If she were like I would lie in my bed.
All right.
That's just one of my favorite songs. I have no more explanation for it.
That's a
I'm
good
turning it back over, John.
You were chilling like Dylan. All right, why don't I do one more and then Joe do one more, and then we'll take a break for conversation. All right, this is one from our band, The Cloud Corporation. This is one of the more romantic songs the Cloud Corporation does, inspired by an exhibit at Shed Aquarium in Chicago called Stingray Touch, where if you paid a special price, you could go to this pool where there were stingrays floating around. They sound scary, but they're actually like cute little ghost-like, they're not fish, but some sort of marine animal. And you can literally pet the stingrays. And they've got a pattern on the top, makes it look like they're smiling. It's very cute. Anyway, this song is the name of the exhibit. It's called Stingray Touch. I'm floating through the water like a stingray. I can feel the waves flowing past my body, and it feels so serene. I feel so clean as I float in the ocean. But girl, I still need your stingray touch. Oh, you know what I need. You got me feeling sweet. Yeah, we made love in the sea. I took a trip, Shed Aquarium. Don't you know, I spent some time in the oceanarium. When the sky turns to thunder and my heart feels asunder. Oh yeah, don't you know, that's when I need your stingray touch. Girl, when I feel your stingray touch. Oh, don't you know, it's almost too much. And hey, you look so lovely, swimming in the water like the ocean's daughter, riding on a seahorse. Ba-da-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Oh, when I feel your stingray touch, girl, don't you know you got me in touch, and I'm going home.
All right.
The softer side of the Cloud Corporation.
Love that tune.
All right, Joe, you got something for us?
Here we stand, worlds apart, hearts breaking into two. Sleepless nights, losing ground, I'm waiting for you. Feeling like it's gone, can change your mind if we kick along. Life and tide, love divine. Someday love will find you, break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you how we touched it with our separate. If he ever hurts you, true love won't desert you. You know I still love you, though we touched it with our separate ways. Troubled times, caught between confusion and pain. Wandering eyes, promises we made were in vain. If you must go, I miss you, love. You never walk alone. Take care, my love. Miss you, love. Someday love will find you. Break those chains that bind you. One night will remind you how we touched and went our separate ways. If he ever hurts you, true love won't desert you. You know I still love you, though we touched and went our separate ways. I still love you. I still love you. Though we touched and went our separate ways.
Oh, go.
So that
Thank
was a
you.
bossa nova version of Separate Ways by the rock band Journey, known for Don't Stop Believin'.
You'll notice that all the tunes I'm doing, you know, they have some topical relevance, right? Like every tune that isn't called Corona, it's about some kind of separation. Like,
Oh, I didn't even make the connection.
Nice.
not being able to
Corona
be
and the
together.
coronavirus. Duh. Hey,
Not being, yeah.
by the way,
Not being
I recommend that you Google a video of the song Separate Ways, lip synced by this family in quarantine. They do a really hilarious frame by frame recreation of the ridiculous video for that song. It's very, very silly 80s video, but it's the video is serious, but it's ridiculous with all these family members taking the roles of the Journey members. All right, this is the point in the show where we normally do some conversing. Anybody got anything to say?
Hey, John, a question. Those two Chicago songs, are they originals?
Yeah, everything I've played so far is original. I had a rock band called Illinois First that did songs about Illinois history. I'm actually going to do another song from that set soon.
And also the Portland song.
That's original.
Yeah.
Although someone accused me of borrowing part of the melody from a Wilco song, but it wasn't
we'll forgive you.
Conscious theft.
We forgive you for that. Ruth and I have Oregon connections as well as Maryland and Washington D.C. connections.
Oh, okay.
So it rung a bell.
I think I wrote that at a time when I sort of wanted to move from Chicago to Portland. I don't feel that way anymore. I like it here. I think I also had a crush on a girl from Portland. That was part of it.
Well, you know, Portland itself is crush worthy. Did you ever live there or spend some time there?
Oh yeah, I always enjoy hanging out there. It's been a while though.
Mm-hmm.
I've bicycled the whole Oregon coast.
Eugene. Ruth has a Eugene connection.
Lived there off and on for 17 plus years.
Oh really? That's really nice town.
Yeah.
Were you a hippie in Eugene? Were you a hippie in Eugene?
I certainly was.
Yeah, they were hippies. I was a kid, and I went I went to visit them when they were being hippies in Eugene. It was awesome. we went to the country fair. Do you remember what happened at the country fair, you guys?
Wait a minute, Joe. What happened, or should we be telling this story?
I don't.
No, we should totally be telling this story. No, nothing bad happened. It was just great. Like I was I went at the country fair and I was like 11 or something. I was about the age Hyacinth now, maybe less. And people had guitars, and that wasn't all that they had. Yeah, it was rad, dude. Yeah, it was rad.
Go ahead.
Eugene, I was in Eugene after the heyday of hippiedom. And I always sort of thought of Eugene as the last bastion of hippiedom. It just couldn't really say goodbye.
Well, it was kind of a wake up and smell the patchouli oil type situation.
And other things.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Wake up and smell the country fair.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. In fact, you can smell it from here, and here means our collective here, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it does my heart good to know that you remember the country fair, Joe.
Yeah, dude, I totally remember the country fair. Unlike anybody else that was there, I remember the country fair.
You mean in this case, if you remember the country fair, you were there?
You were not there, yeah. Or you were like 11, yeah. You were not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my brother Dave and I, we actually have a hippie aunt who lives in Northern California. She's 83 or 84. She was on one of these, she was at one of these concerts a couple weeks ago, and she was smoking medicinal marijuana. You can hear her coughing pretty loudly in the playback. She's a cool lady.
At one point, her camera fell down. You could see she was rolling a joint. And then this cloud of smoke rose up over her later on.
So we could, sorry, was someone going to say something? We could break up the format a little bit here. Dave or Mark, do you guys have guitars handy? Would you be interested in playing a song soon?
Sure.
Mark, you got one nearby?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you play something? So again, Mark plays in a country band with me called the Red Line Rustlers, after we lived near the Red Line rapid transit line in Chicago.
I think I'll try a Beatles song tonight. It's off the White Album. It's called I Will.
Love it.
Who knows how long I've loved you? You know I always will. If you want me to live with you, if you want me to, I will. And if I ever saw you, but didn't catch your name, well, it never really mattered. I will always feel the same. Love you forever and forever. Love you with all my heart. Love you whenever we're together. Love you when we're apart. And if your song will fill the air, sing it loud so I can hear you. Make it easy to be near you. For the things you do and give me to you, you know I will. I All right. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Sounds like I got a lot of chords.
Yeah.
Great tune.
Thank you.
Dave, do you feel like playing something? Do you have a guitar handy?
I always have a guitar handy. Yeah, let me play something.
Yeah, Beatles songs are deceptively difficult. They seem like simple songs, but they're actually like jazz song level. They've got lots of chords.
Yeah.
Crash on the levee, mama, water gonna overflow. Storm's gonna rise and no boats is gonna roll. Well, you can trail on down to Williams Point. You can bust your feet, you can rock this joint, but oh, mama, ain't you gonna miss your best friend now? You're gonna have to find yourself another best friend somehow. Well, don't try to move me, mama, you're just gonna lose. There's been a crash on the levee and mama, you've been refused. Well, it's king for king and it's queen for queen. It's gonna be the meanest flood anybody's ever seen. But oh, mama, ain't you gonna miss your best friend now? You're gonna have to find yourself another best friend somehow.
All right.
All right.
That's my brother Dave, in case anybody didn't hear that. Dave is is a children's musician and puppeteer in DC. He does a very entertaining puppet and music hour weekly for toddlers in Art Space. Did a good song. Dave had a puppet shaped like a sandwich a couple weeks ago, and he did a song, Sandwich, Sandwich, I'm in Love with You. And I'm actually going to play a song by the same artist later in the show, which is also about food. All right, well, I guess I'll play another one. All right, this is another Illinois history song. It's about the history of a state park that's about 50 miles south of downtown Chicago called Starved Rock. Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock. Along the Illinois River, there's a beautiful state park. Inside the park is a high flat boulder. What do they call it? Starved Rock. And this is how Starved Rock got its name. Hey, all right. By 1779, the Illini Alliance of Indians had lost much of their power. A small group of Illini were surrounded by the Iroquois while on top of that tower. But they knew that their enemies could reach them 150 feet above the water. Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock. To get water, they used long vines to lower their drinking vessels into the Illinois River. But their enemies cut the vines each time they lowered them down into the water. I think you know how this story is going to wind up. If you don't, it's going to make your backbone quiver. Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock. One by one, the Illini died from lack of food and water. They chose to starve themselves rather than give themselves up to their enemies. Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock, Starved Rock. Thank you. True story. All right, Joe, you got one for us?
I'm going to take off, actually.
All right, good to see you, Dave.
I'm here on Eastern time, and I'm lazy, so.
All right.
It's nice to meet
I don't
all of
mind
you.
that you rocked and ran.
Yeah, the same for me. I'm in Eastern time, and it's getting near bedtime.
All right, see you, Dad. Thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot. Enjoyed it. See you next show, maybe.
All right.
I'm on Eastern time, and I'm just getting started here.
Yeah,
You're on
if
Eastern
it's all
time?
night, it's all right.
Yeah, and then you guys are on like that weird time. Like what? Right now you're on Pacific, but normally you're on Mountain.
Well, the irony, Joe, is that it's that weird time, but it's standard time.
Yeah,
We're always
Yeah.
on standard time. So
You guys are always on Mountain Standard, which means right now you're on Pacific.
yeah, this is true.
Right.
As far as the rest of the country is concerned.
Right.
We don't need no stinking government to tell us what time it is.
Exactly.
Right.
You
That
march
and
to your
Florida.
own-
That and fluoridation. It's a commie plot.
Dude, fluoridation is an obvious commie plot.
Yeah, clearly.
All
So
right, Joe, you
did
got
you?
one for us?
Yeah. So we lost one, you guys. We keep losing musicians. I'm not sure if this is right, but I've noticed. I think I've been to one other of these, and I don't think anyone's done a Bill Withers tune yet,
No.
even though we lost him.
No, we've been doing tributes to people we lost to coronavirus, like John Prine and
Yeah.
Schlesinger from the rock band Fountains of Wayne.
We lost Bill Withers just to being old, but not to
Yeah,
coronavirus.
thankfully he didn't die of coronavirus.
Here it goes. I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometimes, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us, building them castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. We look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water is all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow. Good things might come to those who wait, not for those who wait too late. We gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building them castles we don't have. Just the two of us. You and I. I see the crystal raindrops fall on the window down the hall, and it becomes the morning dew. And darling, when the morning comes and I see the morning sun, I want to be the one with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us, building them castles we don't have. Just the two of us, you and I.
All right, Joe.
Very nice. Appropriation.
Speaking of lots of chords.
Yes, that's a lot of changes. I know
Yeah.
that tune because a friend of mine in Oak Park who really likes changes and insisted on doing it, and then he would just like solo for 5 choruses because he was just like, I love these changes, man. Like, it's a tune with good changes is hard to come by. I might have to do one because you guys are on. I might have to Bogart this situation that I have on the microphone.
Sure, go for it.
What?
Go for it.
To lay me down. To lay me down. To lay my head among the clovers. Let the world go. someone that I know and love posted on Facebook. They said we've been in quarantine for almost an entire Grateful Dead song. So I didn't want to, I don't want to be that guy. So whoa, where'd you go? That's the hallway of your apartment. Oh man.
Sorry, I had to get a refill.
Got to refresh the
Here
libations.
down the hall, though, sounded very nice.
Well, thank you.
All right, now for something completely different. As promised, this is a song by the children's musician Perry Grip about his love for vegetables. Fancy cars, you can't sell to me. I spend all my money on celery. Guaranteed, there's no stopping me when the plate I see contains broccoli. Like I told you before, I'm hardcore. All the food that I store goes in the vegetable drawer. Some people bring soda to your party and share it, but the party don't start till I show up with my carrot. So tell Dr. Phil and call Okra. I'm gonna eat up all of the okra. I'm notorious, I'm nefarious. I don't spare one spear of asparagus. I'm notorious. Sorry. You think you're tough? You think you're hard? I'm gonna eat the chard right out your yard. My enemy's power, when they feel the power that I get when I devour a cauliflower. I like vegetables. I like vegetables. I could eat a billion turnips. I like vegetables. Let me hear you shout. Let me hear you shout. I'm gonna get crazy on a Brussels sprout. We're gonna get crazy on a Brussels sprout. We're gonna get crazy on a Brussels sprout. I like vegetables. Come on, rock that cabbage. I like vegetables. I like vegetables. That goes out to the gardeners in the audience.
Call any vegetable, I say. Call any vegetable.
Mark, you got another song for us?
Yeah, sure.
Call it my name.
Yeah, and the chances are.
So, yeah, since we've been stuck at home, I've been taking some guitar lessons from a guy who is a Chicago blues musician.
Oh, really?
And it's been really fascinating to I've known him for a while, but I've just kind of decided, I like a lot of different types of music. I like rock music, folk music, country music, but blues music in Chicago, it's kind of like, it's from here, it's like nobody says that they play Milwaukee blues, or, if you're playing blues in Boston, nobody's playing Boston blues. They're playing Chicago blues, most likely. So I don't know. This is a blues song I wrote a few years ago, and I'm learning that there's so much about blues music that I don't understand yet. But this was my first attempt at a blues song when I moved to Chicago. So it's about the L train. Chicago about 10 years ago. I found myself up on Lake Michigan shore. When I woke up in the morning, had no place to go. Got my train downtown. It's the elevated train. It's a little bit noisy, sometimes insane. It's in your heart, get in your brain. In Chicago, it's only right. You got the blue line and the purple line too for a big $1.50. Gonna carry you to the west side, or the south side blues, or way up north if that's where you choose. In Chicago, it's an elevated train, a little bit noisy, sometimes insane. Get you to school, work, or to the game. In Chicago, it's only right. It was built a long time ago by some people who were really in the know. In other cities you go underground, but in Chicago you're 50 feet above the ground. In Chicago it's an elevated train, a little bit noisy, sometimes insane. Get you in your heart to get you in your brain. In Chicago it's only right. Someday I'm gonna buy my own train, only cost a penny, and be fast as a plane. And if the businessman wants to get to work on time, he's gonna have to take the people's line. In Chicago, it's an elevated train. Get your school to work hard to the game. Get you in your heart, get you in your brain. In Chicago, it's only, Chicago, it's only, Chicago, it's the only right. All right.
Very nice, Mark. The problem with this show is there's not enough songs about Chicago. So, well, Joe, how about you and I do one more song each, and then we can call it unless somebody feels like doing a reading or something.
All right.
Now, would you folks rather hear a song like a cover song that's sort of bossa nova inspired, or would you rather hear a song I wrote about women's ultimate frisbee?
You know that I'm gonna see a co-ed ultimate frisbee tournament tomorrow.
Where is it safe to play an ultimate frisbee? Is like virtual ultimate frisbee?
No, real. In our quarantine on the beach. Everybody, well, I shouldn't talk too much about that.
Wait,
Everybody,
where are you now?
what?
You're not at home?
I'm still in Florida, dude. I still haven't came home.
Oh, have you been in Florida this whole time?
This whole time.
Like months?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be why you look so tan.
Yeah, and that's also why this isn't my house. Hold on, let's zoom out. I've been up real close, so you can't even tell where I am. But like, I'm in a hotel room. You could tell if I. Yeah, I was actually gonna joke with. I was joking with some people that I was gonna tell people that I just decorated my house like a Florida hotel, and that was my my taste in decoration. But yes, there's going to be an ultimate frisbee tournament on the beach tomorrow.
Oh, well, you are in Florida where there's no social distancing.
No, there's really not.
I think we're gonna have to quarantine you for 2 weeks after you get back in Chicago before I'm willing to do a band practice with you.
No, you're not. I'm very quarantined here. Like we're just with each other.
Are you going nuts, like living with your whole family in a hotel room for 2 months? Or is,
Well,
is it great being able to go to the beach?
The question is whether I'm going nuts living with my whole office in a hotel for 2 months. And fortunately, my office is not such bad people to hang out with. So,
I mean, it is illegal to go home, isn't it?
Oh, I could go home anytime I wanted, but I'm just like, we're just here. Like Chicago, what are they gonna? I heard that they were gonna open up they were gonna let restaurants and bars have outside seating on the 29th. Is that right?
In Illinois, but not in Chicago.
So you're saying that a hotel room in Florida is better than your own house in Chicago?
And is the richest man in Illinois paying the bill?
Some of it.
So Joe, what you're saying is you're going to write a song called "Sweet Home, Florida." Is that
SUITE, home, Florida.
There you
Yes. And the ironic thing is, if you keep that song going, well, I don't know if anybody here at all is going to get this joke, but the fact is that if you were to keep Sweet Home Chicago going for far longer than anybody wanted to keep it going, you would eventually end up at numbers where I see that number and I'm like, oh, darn it, I can't go past that number. I'm going to run out of, never mind. Anyways, so yeah, I'm still here. So John, you've got one more, right? You're gonna do the
Yeah, I guess I'll do the women's ultimate frisbee song.
Yeah, you have to do the ultimate frisbee song now. We've had this whole ultimate frisbee conversation.
Yeah. All right, true story. Well, actually, it's not exactly a true story, but it was inspired by the University of Chicago women's ultimate frisbee team coming to my Prince-themed dance party at a loft I used to live in Chicago's Wicker Park neighborhood. So I guess that comes full circle because I'm wearing a Prince-themed bicycling cap that says "Let's Go Crazy." All right. Well, I went down to the Midway just the other day. What do you think I saw down there? I saw a frisbee thrown without any testosterone. It was the women's ultimate frisbee team that day. The frisbee was thrown and thrown again, powered just by estrogen. It was the women's ultimate frisbee team that day. Talking about women's ultimate frisbee, it's the ultimate. Women's ultimate frisbee is the ultimate. Women's ultimate frisbee is the game for me. They threw that frisbee really hard. They threw it clear across the yard. It was the women's ultimate frisbee. It was A-OK. It's tougher than soccer and it's faster than lacrosse. Let me get my point across about women's ultimate frisbee is the game for me. Because if you go down to the Midway in Chicago, you're gonna find something I'm sure you'll like. Hey, alright. If you go down, it's a good way. Act like you know. You can go on down, you can ride your bike. Alright. Now they played on grass, not astroturf, with a disc of plastic, not of Nerf. Women's ultimate frisbee is the game for me. That's what I'm singing about. Women's ultimate frisbee is the ultimate. Women's ultimate frisbee is the ultimate. Women's ultimate frisbee is the game for me. It's a game for me. It's a game for me. It's the game for me. Women's ultimate frisbee. Thank you. All right, Joe, what do you have?
Say my love for you ain't real, but you don't know how real it feels. All I want to do is to spend some time with you. I can hold you. Your sister says that I'm no good. I reassure her if I could. All I want to do is to spend some time with you so I can hold you. Friends feel every day. Want you, hear you say won't believe it. Fears will soon go away. Smile now, don't be afraid. All I want to do is to spend some time with you, so I can hold you. So let me whisper in your ear. Don't you worry, they can't hear. All I want to do is to spend some time with you, so I can hold you. Thank you.
All right. I was singing harmony with you in my living room.
I knew you would be. Thank you
Well,
for putting on the.
That was a song by the 70s Memphis pop band Big Star, which was a big influence on our band, the Cloud Corporation. Well, unless anybody wants to do a reading or anything, maybe we'll call it a night. But I appreciate you folks showing up and sticking around.
Thank you for organizing, John.
Sure.
Thank you for hosting.
Joe, was this your first solo performance ever?
What do you mean? I was at Fitzgerald's. I've done some things. I've done some things in my time.
Oh,
But
I didn't
one
know
thing, this guitar is 31 years old.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Ruth, you remember when I got this? Your mom got me this. Your mom bought me this.
You're
years
unmuted.
ago. And the one it replaced had been yours.
And she bought it for you when you were a teenager?
Yeah.
What was that, Joe? I didn't hear the question.
I had Ruth's. I had Ruth's when I was a kid. The one that I had when I was
your ukulele
was Ruth's guitar.
I didn't. I don't think I had a guitar. Was it Missy's?
No, Ruth, you had a guitar that
did.
you
did.
and you left it in our basement. You just you had it, and apparently you hadn't realized that it was actually a 3/4 size guitar, which was very lucky because then when Joe wanted to start playing it, when he was like, Joe first started playing when he was 5. He watched, there was an Elvis Presley special on TV, and Halloween was coming up, and it occurred to me that would be a very easy costume. So I asked.
He was an Elvis impersonator at age 5?
Yes, he was
I was an Elvis impersonator at age 5,
at age 5, yes. And so he used the guitar as a prop. But then I asked him if he'd like to actually learn to play guitar, because it was already apparent that he was a musical kid, and he said yes, and so
yeah,
the rest is history. You know,
That
actually the way
happened
he learned was I just bought a guitar book and left it on the coffee table, and he taught himself to play the guitar from that.
Well, you can see how very important this guitar was in my life, that I don't really remember that I ever had one, much less that it was a 3/4 size guitar. This rings a very, very, very faint bell, but what was I doing with the guitar?
I don't know. Did you ever play?
Giving it to me.
I assume you would remember if you played it. I don't know.
Well, I think we remember, Missy, you remember the ukulele.
That I remember playing quite a bit, actually.
So, but where did the guitar?
I have no idea where I got the guitar or when.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, Joe, I'm glad that it helped to propel you on this path.
Yeah,
It did, yeah. So
remember
actually,
that
then I
Grandma
became.
had bought you the first guitar, your first other guitar.
You're responsible for this.
I'm proud of it.
You're responsible. I
all your
became a
fault.
bass. I became a bass player because they were more in demand.
Well, you know,
and
Don
also,
was a bass
I
player.
became a bass player
Really?
also because of Don. Yeah, Don, you became a bass player because they were more in demand, right? That's the best reason.
Brother Dave, who was here tonight, we were talking about forming a band, and it's funny because I started playing guitar first, but we talked about me playing bass in the band.
Oh, you're a good bassist. Like we formed an all bassist band. We formed a band at first where all three of the members were really bassists. Because I know, not really, but like I know that you had
Oh
been
yeah,
a bassist
Mikhail.
first,
Yeah, I didn't think of that. That would have been funny if we played a song that was just the three of us playing bass.
Big Bottom by Spinal Tap.
I mean, the official reason Mikhail gave for quitting the band was because she wanted to focus on bass, and
That's
she
right.
hasn't played drums with anybody since she left the band.
And she's a great bassist.
She is.
And we
She's
were
very
all, yeah, it was all Belarusian bassist band. That's what
I
it was.
didn't think of that.
It was that. It was the only one probably in history. And we should have done Spinal Tap's Big Bottom.
You know, this reminds me a very little bit of a band well, it was on the road in Wichita, Kansas, called Johnny Reno and the Sax Maniacs. And every member of the band played sax, at least at one time or another during their set. So, and
Yeah, sax players are fun.
Well, at
Bass players are
Bennington,
fun too.
you know, at Bennington, the summer chamber music program that I've been going to for like 35 years, there was for many years a group called the Casual Saxophone Sextet. That was 6 people who played clarinet, basically when they were playing chamber music, but they also discovered that they all played sax, and they had, you know, they had everything ranging from the soprano sax to the bari sax. And Frank Mallory, Joe, if you remember him, did
It was
arrangements. Casual sax, yeah.
It's a great
On the
name.
subject of ultimate frisbee, I happen to have passed through the scene of the creation of ultimate frisbee. Here's a picture I took. It was born in this parking lot in Maplewood, New Jersey.
They were
And
playing
the rock-
ultimate frisbee in a parking lot? That sounds painful.
That is where it was born in I don't know, around 1970, something like that. And my friend Jonathan Newmark, with whom I was riding up to, you know, just traveling with him, going somewhere, he stopped there to visit his aunt in Maplewood, and he took us to, we made a pilgrimage to the scene of the birth of ultimate frisbee. And
Is
the
there a
rock-
plaque?
Yes,
Is there a
the
plaque?
rock that you see here on the back.
The rock is the plaque.
Yeah, on the back of the plaque, there's, let's see. Yes, there's a plaque on the back of that rock, which if I can figure out how to get.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you that there's a plaque on the back of that rock.
And I'm sure you also believe that I managed to just get my photos to several months away from there, so I won't make you wait to see the plaque. But, yeah.
All right. Well, should we think about calling it a night? This was a lot of
All
fun.
right. Yeah. Put my.
Thanks for joining us, Mark. Thanks for playing.
Nice hanging out
Nice
with
to meet your
everybody.
relatives, Joe.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much
Kumar
for
McMillan
hosting
actually
me.
here. We haven't heard anything from him.
Wait, I'm sorry?
Kumar, if you're listening to us, turn on your mic for a second so we can meet you. All right.
Oh,
Hi.
Hey, everybody.
what's up? What's up,
You were
Kumar? How you
lurking.
doing?
We're just hanging out.
Thank you for turning on your thing, man.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show.
Well, thank you to all the musicians.
Yes.
All right. Well, nice meeting all you guys.
Good meeting you.
Joe, enjoy hanging out in Miami. Oh, would you do me a favor? Would you bring me back some chocolate-covered coconut patties like my uncle used to buy me when we visited
I
Miami?
can't get anything they'll give us. I can't go to no stores or anything. Like, all I can do is I can't leave the property. We're in the
Why
quarantine.
can't you go to a grocery store?
I can't, dude. We're in a quarantine. I can probably Instacart something, though. I'll Instacart some coconut patties.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Florida is much looser
No, it
than
makes sense.
Illinois is, and in Illinois you can go to a grocery store or pick up.
Yeah,
food.
but the only reason they're paying for us to be here is so that we don't get sick.
Oh, that's your
Things have
excuse.
changed over the last month or two. Yeah, it's well, Jacinda
So-
said she's
so
going to
you-
write a book about it.
So you're not allowed to go to the beach?
We have a beach. It's a private beach. We're not allowed to go past the rope.
This sounds like a very strange existence.
It's very, very strange.
It sounds like something out of a George Clooney movie.
Yeah, well, Jacinda says she's going to write a book about it. And then the idea was that if we stayed here long enough, all of our kids would grow up, and then they would marry each other, and then they would like create like a new like race of people that was like financial race.
We're
like
excellent at instant trading. So,
yeah, or create like a trading like race of people. That was the that's not going to be that long, but yeah, it was. We've made that joke several times.
So your kids aren't bored to tears yet?
Dude, my kids love it. My kids love it, the pool and everything. Like the kids are fine. Everyone's fine. It's just starting now to get to the point where we'd like to get home. There were some basement issues in Chicago. My sister-in-law had to take care of my basement, as you know.
Your
There's all these. My sister-in-law. No, not my mother-in-law. Jalissa she was watching her house. She had to take care of.
You got multiple in-laws who are not taking care of properties?
No, my mother-in-law, we sold the house she lived in.
But I mean, your mother-in-law messed up that house.
No, let's not talk about that.
Okay.
We sold that house. She moved to Westchester, Illinois. My sister-in-law, Jalissa, she lives in Oak Park and with her kids, and she's taking care of our house, meaning that she just stops by it occasionally.
Okay.
And then we got flooded, of course, because everybody did, as you know.
Yeah.
When the big flood hit Chicago. And she took care of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just getting to the point where it's like, we got to go home and like take care of our responsibilities. We got to go to Sweet Home Chicago. So
okay.
We'll be back mid-June probably.
Well, anyway, Instacart me some chocolate coconut patties.
I'm going to try to Instacart some chocolate coconut patties. I will do that. I will Instacart myself many, many dozens of them, and I will also Instacart you some. And I also have half a cigar, which may or may not be Cuban, in my guitar case.
I'll smoke it.
All right, cool.
I've got the beard to smoke a Cuban cigar nowadays.
That's right, you do. You look like Fidel, man. You got the Fidel beard going on right
now. I went and picked up some Indian food last night. The cook was Spanish speaking, and she just started speaking Spanish to me. So
no way.
I think the beard is working.
No
By the way,
way.
Kumar, I like your Azu t-shirt. All right, folks, let's call it a night. Good to see y'all.
Guys. All right, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, Ruth. Bye, everyone.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
See you, Joe.
Later. How do I do this thing? There you go.